Well, this is my Unit 7 application assignment, or not application assignment, but the project for multiple sclerosis was my autoimmune disease that I chose. So I'm gonna walk you through the ins and outs of it. So, some causes for multiple sclerosis is it's unknown actually, but there's certain factors like you could have a certain genetic factor, like people of perhaps Northern European descent, or are actually most likely for multiple sclerosis, while those of Asian, African, or Native descent are less likely. It's been proven to have genetic factors, like they found a gene on chromosome 6p21 was associated with it, and yeah, I mean, onset mostly happens between ages 20 and 40. It's a lifelong condition, but that's when people really start to find symptoms of it. So another thing is that women are 2 to 3 more times likely to have it. So there's a whole bunch of factors that go into whether or not you can actually if you'll come down with multiple sclerosis. So it makes a big difference. Then it's diagnosed usually via MRI to confirm it because they can see the damage to your nerves with that. They can run what's called an evoked potential, which is when they measure the efficiency of your brain activity. So if it's not functioning as quickly as it needs to be, they could see that as a sign of MS. They could also run a spinal tap, which is where they'll take a sample of your cerebrospinal fluid by placing a needle between two of your vertebrae and extracting a little bit. They can run tests on that to see if there's damage to that fluid from MS, and they can run blood tests to rule. They run a blood test not to confirm MS, but to rule out other diseases that may be giving off the same symptoms. So that's a big reason why they do that. And then, um, yeah, that's how they usually find it. Your symptoms, the big thing with multiple sclerosis is that it's an autoimmune disease, right? It causes your immune system to attack its myelin sheath, which is a layer of the nerves, which improves its efficiency. So if the myelin sheath is gone, your nerves can't function as well. Like your brain activity is not going to be as efficient as it needs to be for you to survive well, and you're going to have problems with mobility and being able to think, and all sorts of anything to do with your nerves could be a big issue. And vision's one of the most obvious signs of it, at least like if you're having problems seeing and everything, it's going to cause problems. Um, a couple of other symptoms are like numbness and weakness in one or more limbs on each side of the body. It's usually only affecting one side at a time because, like if you have problems in like your right side of the brain, you're gonna have issues on the left side and vice versa. And then you'd also feel, some tingling, some electric shock. You're gonna lose your coordination. In late term MS, like you could lose the ability to walk because your brain can't, process balancing and thinking and having your heartbeat and everything at the same time because, your nerves just aren't firing fast enough. And then you could have loss of vision, cognitive problems, going back to that nerve loss, mood disturbances. As I said, anything that your brain does, it could be at risk. So it's just, it's like everything, but still. Your disease course, it is a degenerative disease. I had said that earlier that the onset's usually between ages 20 and 40, but as you can see in the picture over here, you've got the preclinical phase, which is when you're not really noticing a ton of symptoms, but like maybe you've had something worse. Like, I don't know, you've noticed there's something to where you have to go and get it checked out and get diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And then as you move into the 10 to 15-year stage, you're getting a little worse. Like you're in the relapsing stage where I talked about how it'll come in waves where you get like bad for a couple of days or weeks, and then it'll go away. It'll just go away for, months or maybe a year or two, and then it'll come back again with stronger, and then it keeps going. Like as you can see in the clinical disability graph, like you can see the attack, and then the relapse down through here, and then the attack again, and the relapse gets a little bit worse now. It's baseline, the relapse, and they're becoming closer and closer again. And then as you enter late stage MS, your disability is going up, your brain volume's not as strong as it once was, and your disease burden is becoming bigger and bigger. It's becoming a bigger part of your life because you can't function as you once would. So you have to make some adjustments. And then there's no cure for MS. It is a genetic disease. Or not 100% genetic, but you don't catch MS. So it's something that your body develops on its own. There's no cure. You can do rehabilitation activities for it, such as, I don't know, you could do some physical therapy, work on, being able to move again. And you could also have medical equipment such as like canes and walkers and wheelchairs to help you out with learning to live with it. It's nothing crazy. I mean, there's some medications that can alter the disease, but nothing that'll buy you a ton of extra time. You're just not there yet. You could take an immunosuppressant to have it stop attacking your myelin sheath, but that's going to cause other problems with you'll be more prone to other diseases and stuff. So it's just there's no good solution yet. Then you can talk about the impact of your life. Like your brain's chemistry is getting changed because it's not the same. It's not functioning as it once was. So it's going to cause depression. You could lose your job because you're not able to move as well. You can put a lot of strain on your personal relationships. So, I mean, you can talk about that with any long-term degenerative disease, but especially MS, you're not going to be the same person you once was. Your brain, you go through mood swings. You could lose the ability to walk, to see. There's a whole lot of strain that this puts on your relationships. And talked about the loss of mobility and mental capacity already. So it's a rough thing to have happen to you. And then here are all my citations. So, overall, MS, it's a terrible thing. Wouldn't recommend having it, but it is a autoimmune disease that attacks your myelin sheath, causes it to degenerate over many, many years. But yeah, that's MS. Wouldn't recommend. Anyways, this has been my Unit 7 project. We do the sec, so bye.